Dès que ça chauffe, il fait quoi? Il déménage, il change de ville. C'est un parano, c'est une anguille. Il peut être n'importe où maintenant.
There wasn't a body in the water.
Something in your eyes.
Actually, that isn't the start of the story. Today's the first day of the rest of our lives.
Hello, and thanks for joining us today. All aboard for this month's Arts 24 TV series show. We're setting sail with Keira Knightley in a luxury yacht murder mystery, diving into a French true crime drama about women killed near a train station, and marching into Marine boot camp with a gay man trying to find his place in the 1990s military. I'm here with our TV critic, Dheepthika Laurent. Hello, Dipti.
Hi, Eve.
Thanks for joining us. Now, let's start with that French series then we mentioned, Les Disparues de la Gare.
Yeah, that's right. Les Disparues de la Gare, or The Lost Station Girls as it's known in English, is a 6-part series out on Disney this month. It stars the French actress Camille Razat, who you might recognize as Camille from Emily in Paris, but she swaps her bright, sunny personality for that of Flore Robin, who's a rookie detective. French actor Hugo Becker plays her commanding officer Franck Vidal, and the team investigate 1 disappearance and 3 femicides committed in and around the station of Perpignan. This is actually based on true crime events from 1995 to 2001. Take a look.
Et là, Shakir, 19 ans, on essaie de trouver où et quand elle a pu le croiser, son meurtrier. Et on garde la tête froide.
Tatiana Andujar, ça vous parle? Elle a disparu aussi autour de la gare.
Non, ils se connaissaient pas, hein. Il y a 3 ans, quand ma fille a disparu, vos collègues, là, nous ont presque rayonnés.
On a parlé avec le légiste. Apparemment, on doit chercher un médecin.
Tant qu'on l'a pas retrouvé, je veux que vous demandiez à tous les groupes de sillonner la ville H24, c'est clair?
Ce qu'il nous faut, c'est un petit détail qui va nous garantir à 100% de le faire craquer.
Wow, that looks intense. How does it fare?
Well, it's a really solid series. Good acting, good intrigue, and storylines. They don't really ever sensationalize the events. And I think what really hits hard is the fact that this investigation spanned 20 years. And so that's the series actually follows that investigation over 20 years. And it really is depicted from the point of view of the police investigation and the impact that these cases had on them, but also the victims' families. And there's one case, the first one, Tatiana Andujar, that was actually never solved. To this day, it's still not been solved. And one of the subplots looks at her mother's futile attempts to find her and really depicts what grief can do to a family. There's also a really good exploration of institutionalized sexism and racism in the French police force at the time, seen through the eyes of Flore, who is young and female, and so has that double burden to prove herself. And also, you know, the hostility towards women that's also echoed in the real brutality of these murders. So it's well worth a watch.
OK, good one to put on the list. And well, from true crime to crime fiction then, a best-selling book by Ruth Ware has been made into a TV film starring Keira Knightley. It's called The Woman in Cabin 10. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. Just like the 2016 hit novel, also by the same name by Ruth Ware. The Woman in Cabin 10 stars Keira Knightley. She plays Lo Blacklock, a journalist invited on a luxury yacht trip hosted by a billionaire called Richard Bulmer, played by Guy Pearce. Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso also stars as a pretty convincing Australian socialite, I might say. Keira Knightley's Lo, so what happens is she witnesses a woman in cabin 10, the cabin next to her, being overthrown or thrown overboard one night. And then Keira Knightley's character is gaslit by everyone on board into thinking that there was no woman in that cabin at all.
Well, it does sound intriguing. Let's take a look then at The Woman in Cabin 10.
Laura here's an award-winning journalist. She's doing a piece for us on the Foundation. I know this is an unusual approach to charity. 3 days on a luxury yacht.
Laura here's going to be spying on us.
The world awaits with bated breath.
Someone's gone overboard.
Who did she see?
It's the woman next door, the woman from the cabin there.
So, Eve, fun fact, this series was actually filmed on an actual $150 million super yacht called the Savannah. It belonged to the late Swedish-Canadian businessman Luca London, who made his fortune in diamonds and mining. It reportedly cost $1 million per week to rent, according to People magazine. At that price, you'd think filming on a yacht is a very luxurious experience, but not quite according to the cast. Take a look.
I had people chasing me around, trying to make sure I was wearing the right shoes and the right socks.
And I literally, you'd do a scene and you'd stop the scene, and then one of the boat crew people would be like, "Sorry, could you get up now?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll get up. Yep,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yep, not touching the chair. No, okay."
Yeah, and because they're used to working with like super famous people, like, they don't bat an eyelid that it's Keira.
They did not. No, it was just get off the chair.
It's like, get off the chair.
Get off the chair. The chair is more expensive than you. Get off.
Not all it's cracked up to be then, being on this multi-million euro yacht. The film makes those significant departures from the book. It's not exactly the same, is it?
No, there are some significant departures, notably that Keira Knightley's character in the book is a travel writer who gets invited on this yacht to write about it. In the film, though, she's depicted as this sort of harrowed, award-winning investigative journalism for The Guardian, whose invitation on the yacht is more of one of social purposes, if you like. The setting of this series this film, a TV film, is quite extraordinary. It was filmed in Dorset in England, parts of Scotland, and also the Norwegian fjords, and the darkness of the fjords really lends to that sort of mystery and murder of the crime thriller. Although I did find the characters quite basic, and Knightley's portrayal of an investigative journalist, maybe it's not her fault, but I find it a bit cliched and romanticized. We are journalists, Eve, and we know, the film opens on her working in these super modern, sleek offices.
Like here.
Like here. It's a bit sleeker than here. And we know that many journalist offices, particularly paper offices, newspaper ones, are not like that. My thoughts on the film, keeps you guessing. It's all a bit over the top. It's a bit silly, implausible at times. She jumps into the freezing fjord waters and then manages to swim to safety. But look, the film rose to the top of Netflix's viewing list this month, so maybe we all need a bit of silly in our lives right now.
We certainly do. Well, let's look now at something that you did really like, a surprise hit dramedy called Boots. It's about a gay man joining a Marines boot camp in the 90s.
Yeah, that's right. Boots is an adaptation of the book called The Pink Marine. It's a coming-of-age novel written by Greg Cope White, and it follows, the TV series follows Cameron Cope, who joins the Marines boot camp as a closeted gay recruit in the 1990s upon suggestion of his best friend Ray. So the 8-part series takes us through their grueling experiences alongside a motley crew of very colorful characters. We see them pushed to their physical limits. They endure racism, homophobia, and also tests to their friendship. Take a look.
Why do you want to be a Marine, Cameron?
For freedom.
What I see before me is a collection of ups, jerk-offs, and fat bodies.
I told you it was going to be rough. I thought that you meant like mud and some bug bites.
What kind of man do you want to be?
It is just the first day. You've only been here for one day.
For you, this is definitely one to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very sweet, Eve. It's endearing, it's sweet, it's funny, it's uplifting, and I like in the trailer you see that they really do ask the question, what is it to be a man? What is masculinity? So it's very nice. Excuse me. Miles Heiser is perfectly cast as the scrawny, quick-witted Cameron Cope, terrified that someone's going to find out he's gay. And actually, back then, it was illegal to be gay in the U.S. military. It was actually a policy that only ended in 2011. And, the series complete with a beautifully nostalgic 90s soundtrack, complete with George Michael, of course. And there's an excellent depiction of homophobia, fatphobia, racism in the U.S. military at the time, as well as some lovely messages about loyalty, self-discovery, and also pushing yourself beyond your limits.
Okay, that sounds like a nice one to watch. Well, finally from you, Netflix has released a new Indian animated series. It's a religious epic called Kurukshetra.
Yeah, that's right. Kurukshetra is adaptation of a sacred Hindu text called the Mahabharata. It traces an 18-day war between two families, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The series depicts the war through the eyes of 18 warriors, each grappling with their own moral dilemmas and decisions that change the course of history. It's, as you see there, it's a bold anime-inspired reimagining of that war, blends mythology, morals, and also modern techniques, bright colors, swift action sequences, really takes us into the heart of that battle. Central to the series is the battle between righteousness, so dharma, and action, karma. The series is not perfect, but I think it's really does convey moral messages that are ever more relevant to our society today.
Okay, Dipti, thank you so much. An eclectic mix as always. We're going to leave you with a look at Kurukshetra, out now on Netflix. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
महाभारत एक ऐसे महायुद्ध की कहानी है जब सारा भारत धर्म और कर्म का फैसला करने के लिए एक जगह जमा हो गया था।
कौरव और पांडव, कुरुक्षेत्र में कोई पक्ष कम नहीं था। 18 दिनों के महासंग्राम में 18 योद्धा और उनके साहस की 18 कहानियां।
हस्तिनापुर की भूमि हमें प्राणों से भी प्रिय है।